Welcome back, boys and girls. The next story that we're going to read together is from the Bible. It's called A Man Named Noah. Let's read this together. A long time ago was a man named Noah who loved and worshiped God. This faithful man followed God's commands, even when they seemed quite odd. Most people had become very bad. They ignored their Creator Lord. That means they didn't pay attention to what God said. They were full of laughter at what God said. They were spreading hate, which God does not like. Noah, with dread, God said sadly, "I've decided to make it rain. A flood will swirl over the entire world and get rid of sin and pain. I will wash the world clean. No one will be seen, just you and your family of 8. But you'll need to embark and build an awesome ark immediately. Don't wait." Do you see Noah praying with his family? He believed God. Let's count his family. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in Noah's family. "I will not ask you why, Lord," was Noah's reply. "I will do as you tell me to do. With the helping hands of my family, an ark we shall build." With pegs and boards, Noah learned from the Lord exactly what to do, what wood to prize, what shape and size. God's ship just grew and grew. "Oh, you're sick in the head," the neighbors said. They teased him. "To build that big ship here? Where will you float the ship? That gigantic boat that you've worked on year after year?" Then God said, "My son, your work is nearly done. Your humongous ark is strong. Now search the trees and the lairs," that's the little dens, "for thousands of pairs of creatures to bring along." Arriving by twos, they walked and crawled and flew. The animals, from lions to mice. When God shut the door at the thunder's roar, Noah was glad for God's advice. He was glad that God was taking care of him and all those animals. Rain caused great fright for 40 days and nights. Flooding low and high, the waters came down over forest and town. But the ark stayed snug and warm and dry. Imagine the hoots and the storts and the toots of all those animals, large and small. The lions that roared, the birds and the bees that soared. Our God loved them all. Finally, God stopped the rain, but the ark remained floating for months after that. Then it hit kerplop on the top of a mountain called Ararat. Next, God's wind blew and the sea went away. Noah sent out a dove that returned with a leaf to the crew's relief. a sign of the Lord's great love. The leaf meant that the trees were growing again on the earth. Noah's family at last was free and stepped out on the land quite dry. They worshiped God with praises loud as a rainbow filled the sky. God promised then that never again would he flood the entire earth. Now, our faith we base on baptismal grace and the gift of Jesus' birth. That came much later. Our water comes down from a Christ-based crown. God's love makes us remark, "Since you say so, Lord, we will trust you, like Noah did, who built the ark." That's a wonderful story about trusting God. When he tells us what to do, we can trust him and know that he always has the best plan. I hope you enjoyed the story of Noah. Now, let's go back to our book of poems and read some more poems for this wonderful book called First Book of Poems. Once there was a puffin, just the shape of a muffin, and he lived on an island in the bright blue sea. He ate little fishes that were most delicious, and he had them for supper, and he had them for tea. But this poor little puffin, he couldn't play nothing, for he hadn't anybody to play with at all. So he sat on his island and he cried for a while, and he felt very lonely, and he felt very small. Then along came the fishes, and they said, "If you wishes, you can have us for playmates instead of for tea." So now they all play together in all sorts of weather, and the puffin eats pancakes like you and like me. This reminds me of my grandchildren. They love to fish, and they love pancakes. My puppy. It's funny. My puppy knows just how I feel. When I'm happy, he's yappy, and he squirms like an eel. When I'm grumpy, he's slumpy, and he stays at my heel. It's funny. My puppy knows such a great deal. Puppy and I. I met a man as I went walking. We got talking, man and I. "Where are you going to, man?" I said to the man as he went by. "Down to the village to get some bread." "Will you come with me?" "No, not I." I met a horse as I went walking. We got talking, horse and I. "Where are you going to, horse, today?" I said to the horse as he went by. "Down to the village to get some hay." "Will you come with me?" "No, not I." I met a woman as I was walking. We got talking, woman and I. "Where are you going to, woman, so early?" I said to the woman as she went by. "Down to the village to get some barley." "Will you come with me?" "No, not I." I met some rabbits as I went walking. We got talking, rabbits and I. "Where are you going in your brown fur coats?" I said to the rabbits as they went by. "Down to the village to get some oats." "Will you come with us?" "No, not I." I met a puppy as I went walking. We got talking, puppy and I. "Where are you going this fine day?" I said to the puppy as he went by. "Up to the hills to roll and play." "I'll come with you, puppy," said I. wild beasts. I will be a lion, and you will be a bear, and each of us will have a den beneath a nursery chair. And you must growl and growl and growl, and I will roar and roar. And then, why then, you'll growl again, and I will roar some more. Which will you have, a ball or cake? A cake is so nice. Yes, that's what I'll take. Which will you have, a cake or a cat? Oh, a cat is so soft. I think I'll take that. Which will you have, a cat or a rose? A rose is so sweet. I'll have that, I suppose. Which will you have, a rose or a book? A book full of pictures. Oh, do let me look. Which will you have, a book or a ball? Oh, a ball. No, a book. I'll have them all. New shoes. When I am walking down the street, I do so like to watch my feet. Perhaps you do not know the news. Mother has bought me fine new shoes. When the left one steps, I do not speak. I listen to its happy squeak. All right, we're going to save a few more of these poems for another day. And we're going to read one more Bible story. This is the first story in the Bible. In the beginning. The first day. In the beginning, all the world was empty and dark. God said, "Let there be light." And there was light, and it was good. Now there was morning and evening. So God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. The second day, God said, "Let there be a sky to divide the waters below from the waters above." So the sky was made, and it was called heaven. The third day, God said, "Let the waters be gathered and let the dry land appear." So the water became seas, and the land was called earth. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass and trees and fruits." And soon plants blossomed everywhere. The fourth day, God said, "Let there be lights in the sky to give light to the earth." So God made two great lights, the sun and the moon. The greater light ruled the day, the lesser light ruled the night. And then God made stars to shine in the night sky. The fifth day, God said, "Let the waters bring forth many living, moving creatures, and let the birds fly in the heavens. Great whales and many fish splashed in the waters. Birds flew in the heavens, and God blessed them all." The sixth day, then God said, "Let us make man in our image. Let him have power over the fish and the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and everything that creeps upon the earth." God created man in his own image. God made the first man and the first woman. He blessed them and gave them power over the entire earth. Then God looked at everything he had made, and he saw that it was good. The sky and the earth were filled with life. The seventh day, God rested from all his work, and he blessed the day, and he made it holy. The Garden of Eden. God made a lovely garden and called it Eden. This garden had many beautiful trees that grew fruit that were good for food. God also planted the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God took the first man, Adam, and the first woman, Eve, and put them in the Garden of Eden. Then God told Adam and Eve, "You may eat the fruit of any tree in the garden, except the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat this fruit, you will surely die." In Eden was a cunning snake. One day crept up to Eve and said, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit of any of the trees in the garden?" "No," said Eve, "we may eat the fruit of any trees except from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." "That's not true, you know," hissed the snake. God said because he knew that if you ate the fruit, then you would be as powerful as he is. Eve looked at the tree of knowledge again, and she saw how delicious the fruit looked. "Perhaps just a taste wouldn't matter," she said. "It would be wonderful to know as much as God." Eve plucked the fruit and she tasted it. And it tasted good, so she gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. Suddenly, Adam and Eve realized what they had done. They had disobeyed God, and they felt ashamed and very sad. They knew they were naked, so they hid and they made clothes from fig leaves. But God found Adam and Eve, and he asked them, "Have you tasted the fruit of the tree, which I commanded you not to touch?" Eve answered, "The snake tempted me, and I ate it." God was angry and cursed the serpent and said, "You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life." He punished the serpent. Then God made coats of animal skins for Adam and Eve to wear and cover themselves. God put Adam and Eve out of the garden forever and placed angels to guard the gates against their return. So that was their punishment for disobeying God. Later, God sent his son Jesus to die for all the sins, the bad things that we do and all the bad things that are done in this world. He sent Jesus so that if we put our faith and trust in him, we can live forever with him. I hope you like this first story of the Bible, and I'll be back real soon to read you some more. Have a wonderful day. Bye.